So if you guys ask me what my favorite notes are of all time, Vetiver would come up there. I know that Patchouli would be at number 1, but Vetiver is pretty close, up to the top there. It's one of my favorite notes and I really do enjoy it. And today, I have a fragrance from a house called Avery. I'm not sure if you're familiar with this house. And a new fragrance they launched called Peep Courtois, this one right here. This one features Vetiver and a whole bunch of other notes that I'm going to tell you all about. But also, I'm going to tell you about 5 of their fragrances called A for Avery, V for Avery, E for Avery, R for Avery, Y for Avery. So 5 fragrances, A, V, E, R, Y. I'm going to do first impressions for you in addition to reviewing Peep Courtois, which you're going to have a chance at winning those 5 samples. Large samples to 1 subscriber of this channel from the USA. Last but not least, also still going to tell you about this fabulous t-shirt that I've created called Forever Vetiver. I thought I'd mention it again to you today. Have you bought yours? These are real, cool little designs. I'm going to be launching another t-shirt very soon on another note. I'll tell you all about it at the end. But if you haven't heard about this t-shirt, Forever Vetiver, they are currently sold. You can find them on my channel. But anyway, if you want to find out all about these and have a chance at winning the Avery samples, then please stay tuned. Thanks so much for tuning in. This is Sebastian with Smelling Great Fragrance Reviews. That's right, today I'm talking about Peep Courtois. This is a new launch from a house called Avery. I don't know if you're familiar with Avery. They are a brand, Avery, plus a distributor of multiple brands such as the Fragrance Kitchen, A Lab on Fire, Agonist, and a few other brands. But this is their own fragrance, Peep Courtois, recently launched with 2 additional fragrances, so this is a 2020 launch. I'll tell you all about it. If this is your first time tuning into the channel though, and you still haven't subscribed to the channel, please click the subscribe button below, and also click the bell so you'll be notified for future videos and giveaways. So this bottle was sent to me, and they approached me and I said Avery's Peep Courtois sounds great, because not only is it a brand new release, it's Vetiver, and I'm always looking forward to discovering new Vetiver fragrances. And I think you guys are fans of Vetiver as well, right? Let me know if you're not a fan of Vetiver, or if you are, and if you enjoy it. Because this one actually, now that I've been testing it out, it is a little different than other Vetiver fragrances. It's not like, oh my god, this is completely original, it's completely wild, it's all out there kind of a fragrance. It's totally wearable, but it has some unique twists to it that I haven't noticed in a Vetiver fragrance prior yet. So this was sent to me, the opinion's all my own. It's considered a woody, spicy fragrance, and this is pure perfume concentration, so it's the most concentrated form of perfume oil in the fragrance, and this sells currently for 185 euros for a 100 ml bottle. They do ship worldwide. As I said, I do have the 5 Avery samples that I'm going to do first impressions of as well, and you're going to have a chance at winning that set, the 5 samples. They're large samples for 1 subscriber of this channel from the USA. So notes are pink pepper, coriander seeds, cedar leaf, Elemi resin. In the heart, rose, lavender, olibanum, geranium, citrus fusion, clary sage, nutmeg. Base notes, vetiver, patchouli, cedarwood, benzoin, musk, orris fusion, moss, or oak moss, amber, cashmere wood. So why do I find this different than other Vetiver fragrances? First of all, for me, Vetiver tends to go very earthy, rooty, damp, soily kind of direction. So in the end, Vetiver can smell very damp, earthy, soily, kind of like deep, very, very rooty kind of smelling. Here, I don't get that at all. I think what's going on here is that it's been refined a lot. There are other notes in here that are competing with the Vetiver, so they're toning down the earthiness, the dampness, the rootiness of the Vetiver, giving us a very, very classy fragrance. I find that this is a very, very classy offering and very, very sophisticated for someone that wants to wear during the day in an office type setting. So for me, this one starts off with pink pepper at the top. It is peppery, and there's a little bit of woody touches, but spiciness does come in with the coriander as well. And then the Elemi resin adds a little bit of a resinous touch at the top. It's a great start, but I think what I get mostly up here is the pink pepper. It's peppery, so you know this note. You've used it probably to put on your food and things like that to spice things up a bit. So you do get that smell. Although pink pepper versus black pepper, I think, is a little more floral smelling. It's a little more fainter, not so strong compared to the black pepper. So at the top, you experience the pepperiness and the spiciness and a little bit of resinous touch. But in the heart, it's a lot of aromatic notes. I find that this fragrance is ultra aromatic, and what's really driving the heart section of this fragrance is the geranium with the lavender. I get loads of geranium here, so there's still a pepperiness about this fragrance because geranium does have a peppery touch, but also it has a kind of a rosy touch too. So there's not only rose in the heart, there's also the geranium, so they kind of complement one another, and then there's that lavendery touch in the heart as well. So I feel like what's toning down the rooty, earthy, damp vetiver touch in the base is what's going on in the heart, because they carry over to the heart and they really kind of like make the fragrance very, very classy and sophisticated. When I was wearing it, I just wanted to dress up, like wear a suit, tie, or you know, something like that. Just feel very dapper, because I feel like that's what it is. The other reason why I feel that about this fragrance, because in the end, there's a slight leathery cloth-like fabric smell in here. I don't know, I think it's just a combination of the notes. It could also be the cashmere wood in conjunction with the vetiver in the base. And I feel like it's nice, it smells like fabric, like tailored clothing and things like that. That's why I feel like, you know, I want to dress up and wear this one, because there's that kind of sophistication with it that I like. In the end, vetiver is very classy and woody and earthy for men, but here it's kind of on another level for me because it just makes it a lot more sophisticated. But finally in the base, the vetiver appears, and I feel like the vetiver along with the cashmere wood are pretty much driving this fragrance. I mean, you do get a few other touches of the patchouli, perhaps a little bit sweetness from the benzoin, some muskiness and amber, but for me in the base it's mostly about the vetiver with the cashmere wood and finishing off an excellent release. So in the end, is this a very original fragrance? For me, I've tested so many vetiver fragrances. I feel like, you know, it stands out from other vetivers when I compare to them, but it also is not an out there fragrance where you can't really wear it, you know, if that makes sense. So you can actually wear it and enjoy it. And I feel like even though it's slightly masculine leaning for the vetiver, but I feel like it's kind of in the middle. It's unisex enough for women to wear this as well. So it's a great, great woody, aromatic, spicy fragrance. I'm bringing up aromatic a lot because in the end geranium and lavender can go spicy because they're herbs after all, but it's very, very aromatic experience. So that's my thoughts on Pique Courtois. A new brand. Are you familiar? Actually, I shouldn't say new brand. I should say it's an existing brand. I've sampled Avery fragrances all the way up into the early 2010s on my travels in Europe, and as I've seen their brand pop up in various department stores and even in standalone stores as well. So they're not a new brand, but it might be new to you guys because I don't see them a lot here in the States. Mostly Europe and a few other countries I do see that they have stores. But the very first time I experienced their fragrances was in Berlin at a department store called GVWY, and there they had a section within a department store, like a store within a department store, and I sampled a lot of their fragrances, not only from this house, the Avery house, which is the name of the brand, but also Avery as a distributor for other brands. In fact, I bought some of their fragrances. I think the brand was Santa Eulalia, but there's a few other brands that they distribute. So I've sampled their fragrances quite frequently. They have standalone store I've been to in Milan. I've been to their store within a department store in Printemps in Paris. So I've seen them around, and they do have quite a few stores all over the world. So next we're going to do is sample the fragrances that are in the these. This is how it is. A. This is V. This is E. And R, and finally Y. So we're going to sample these, and that's what you're going to end up winning. And first impressions, we'll let you know how they are. We're going to start off with A right here, and these are nice size samples. And let's see how this one smells. 3 big sprays. Go big or go home. So this one has a very spicy, citrusy kind of a smell. I'm getting citruses, perhaps something like bergamot or lemon, and some smoky. There's a smoky undertone there also. So aromatic, spicy, could be also some herbs like mint, or it could be lavender, geranium, basil, thyme, anything like that with citruses. So it's pleasant. I feel like this is very classy, kind of slightly going into an eau sauvage kind of direction, but a lot more. There's a lot more depth here. It's not all citruses. You've got lots of spices, and of course there's a little bit of a smoky undertone there. So that is A, and that's how you'll get your sample. Let's try V. This is V. So these are larger samples, as I said. So this one seems floral. There's some vanillic touches here. Maybe some spices. So far so good. This one seems a lot more like deeper, like there's a lot more depth here versus the first one was citruses and spices. I don't find a lot of citruses here, but I do find some resinous touches here and some patchouli-esque type touches. So I like this one. This is V. Comes like this. Next up it's E. So let's try E. Let's see which one turns out to be my favorite of these. So far so good, but they're not like my favorites. I still prefer Pique Courtois. Let's try E. E. So this one actually is doing it for me. It's leathery, but it's also kind of slightly fruity, gourmandy kind of. Ooh, I like this one a lot. Maybe a little bit tobacco-y. Okay, this one's definitely doing it for me. E is definitely one that I like. Now I've sampled these in passing before, but these are the first time I'm spraying them from these samples. But I'm definitely digging E. E's my cup of tea. It's like a tobacco, leather, floral spices, some sweetness in there as well. Maybe some tonka, maybe some benzoin or something, but great. E is great. That's that. Next up is R. Let's see what R is all about. Let's see if I'm going to enjoy this one. Once again, almost like the A, but this one seems a little more aromatic, a lot more actually. Like this is an aromatic citrus kind of a fragrance. Wow, loads of herbs. I'm getting so many herbs. It's almost like you're walking through a brand new growth in a forest of like flowers with aromatic herbs, like wild herbs. It's very herby, herbal. It's not necessarily a fougere, but kind of going in that direction. This one's nice. I still prefer E as my favorite, but this one's second so far. So that's R. Last but not least, it's Y for Avery. Let's see how this one is. All right. This one seems very woody, but also very spicy. There's some spices in there. Maybe there's some oud here. Very interesting. This is actually a toss-up with the last one as my favorite, but my favorite still is E. E, right in the middle of Avery. I like that one a lot, but this one actually now it's become my second favorite. So E, Y, and R are my three favorites from here. The first one and the second one are not my favorites, but definitely E is my favorite. So those are the Avery fragrances. And last but not least, I want to tell you about the t-shirt. I don't know if you guys have bought your t-shirt yet. They are sold currently and shipped to USA and EU. So they're selling, and I have different colors. I have white, black, and multiple other colors that the design would work. And as I was mentioning earlier in a video with Dahlia, that I am planning on doing a bunch of different notes. And I have another one that's going to launch very soon. And I'll give you a clue. It's the note starts with, it's a note-focused t-shirt again. Not Forever Vetiver, but it starts with A. So A for Avery. It's not Avery, but it's a note that starts with A. That's going to launch very soon. But if you haven't gotten your t-shirt yet, these make great t-shirts to wear during the summer. And of course, people will ask what that means, Forever Vetiver. Vetiver, of course, if you're a fan of Vetiver, it would be a great one to wear to show that you enjoy this particular note in perfumery. So those are currently sold, and as I said, they are you can see a link down below. There's an ad to the t-shirt. You can just click and buy there and enjoy. In order to participate in your sample set giveaway, one winner will win one from the world. This is a worldwide giveaway thanks to the folks behind Avery. Now keep in mind, you're not going to get a sample of Pique Courtois. You're basically going to get the samples Avery. They're large size samples. One lucky subscriber of this channel, please let me know which of the Avery fragrances that I sampled, Avery, sounds the best to you. What sounds good about Pique Courtois? And put down your country. You know, let's put those three things down, or else you won't be qualified. Other than that, thanks so much for watching today's video. As I said, let me know what your thoughts are on this brand. Have you sampled the fragrances? Do you own any of their fragrances? And what do you think about the t-shirt? Anyway, thanks so much for watching again. Please do like this video. Please share it. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one. Goodbye.